everyone, and welcome to the finale of the Stewards War. With that in mind, I am your level GM for these preceding evenings. And with that in mind, I'm going to get to my players here so you can not look at me anymore. Starting off with you, C. Please, C, take it away.
Hi, I'm C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very transparent gay art on the internet. C plays RPG. Feeling a little bit silly with our big silly Butch, who just likes being sweet. I don't know. It's not even fun as a bit. I'm playing Ajax Raspy, who uses any and all pronouns and is a problem. And with that, I'm gonna pass it over to Zoe.
Hi everyone, it's me, Zoe. What if that was it? Now, I play Scovia. That is it actually. I don't got anything else to say, because everything else can come at the end. Passing it to V.
Oh my god, hi! I'm V, and my internet is metric ass tonight, so you get to see me statically. I'm playing Taika, who's done nothing wrong this entire show. Hooray!
I'm going to need you to keep that energy up for the entirety of this. But with that, circling back to me, I am Chris. I am your humble MCGM, whatever you want to call me, for these preceding evenings. And with that in mind, before we start, a couple things in case you missed them bad boys. First off, !War CW, in case you want to catch some content warnings. And for this one in particular, in case you missed those bad boys, we got fantasy and gun violence, gore, drama, fire, blood, grief, familial struggles, severe weather, romance, and references to sexual entanglements, monsters and monstrosities, references to child loss, imperialism, ableism, classism, depictions of experimentation, war, and imprisonment. Any of this does not float your boat. There's a plethora of wonderful content out there for you to enjoy. And if you want to follow all the lovely cast members, including me and these lovely people I have below me, you can type !Warcast to see where they are on the big wide web. With that in mind, I think it's time for us to get to that intro and get into the finale of the Stewards War. With that in mind, we'll see you right quick. See you soon. with that, the camera is staring into nothingness. Pitch black, as the only sound that any of you can hear is the swishing and swashing of this sort of fluid that surrounds your body, giving it the effect of some sort of isolation chamber in which you find yourselves the test subjects in. I'm curious. We asked before how you feel. How does dying feel like? But now that you're dead, how does that feel like? Starting off with you, Ajax, as you simply find yourself floating.
If dying felt cold, being dead feels oddly warm to Ajax. Floating there in space, they suddenly become aware of how hot their body is, how much fire lives inside of it, and how much they can still feel it. She can still understand sensation, still touch tangibly the warmth of his own blood, their own conception of self. And it's surprising. They were waiting for the cold to take them, and it did. It happened, and now it's still happening. A flower doesn't bloom forever. Eventually it wilts and dies. But something's wrong. They're still warm.
As we move over to a separate sort of cocoon-like structure, Scovia, what does death feel like to you?
For Scovia, dying was a relief. It is that feeling of when you're chasing something, or in her case, running from something for so long. And when you finally reach it, you realize, oh, it's not that bad. But death? Death is upsetting and violent, and she is so unbelievably frustrated that it finally happened. There's a shock when you realize that you got. And there's a rage in realizing that you never want it to happen again. Doros? She doesn't care if it's going to lead her to be a god. This definitely wasn't worth it.
And last but not least, going over to you, Taika, what does death feel like to you?
It's so incredibly lonely to finally die after years of cradling other people's deaths and being promised that you would see them again, and to just exist in an expanse that seems to go on forever. It's crushing, but it also feels deserved.
And as you all wait in this fluid, thinking you have crossed to another side, you begin to hear something. At first, it is too quiet to understand or even comprehend, but then the whispers get louder. The whispers, they say, traitors, murderers, failures, villain. These voices get louder and louder until you almost can't even hear anything else, as it is like a walking into a room full of people talking to you at once. Bit maddening. But as you close your eyes, you begin to find yourselves in a different place. not darkness, but a place full of starry green space, full of cracks peering into your lives. But as you walk about, each of you are pulled in separate directions. And going off, first off with Tyke. You are pulled into one of the nearby cracks. And as you open your eyes, you begin to breathe normally, no longer feeling any kind of fluid or anything like that you were sort of encapsulated in. You once again are in your workshop. Every bit of it feels different, as it is no longer ransacked or full of regret, but rather it is glorious, stocked with everything you could possibly imagine. Almost a bit paintery in a sense, as nothing looks, in a sense, of real. It looks like a painting of what your place looks like as you walk through it. But as you look off to the balcony, seeing the vestige of the city once again, with that same painterly look, you begin to hear your brother once again, snapping his fingers as the warm sunshine hits across your face, and you can see that he's working on something. He's extending his hand out. Brother, can I get the, wrench size A, please? I think I'm gonna need that to finish this. Or at least try to finish it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I think I have a headache. And they still reach over and give it to them. A, right? You wanted it.
Yes. As you walk over, it is quite curious what your brother's working on. Your brother was, yes, a renowned inventor, but he wasn't very much into mechanics in a sense, or in terms of the gears that usually are associated with automaton. He was more of a theoretical kind of person, or kind of more of like about the science of thing rather than the actual doing. That was more your domain. But on what you see before you is strange, as you see what looks like to be a mechanical heart, in which he is placing various gears and red crystals inside. As it is covered in runes and is sparkly beyond starlight. You see your brother? Thank you very much. Looks over to you and says, well, we're almost done here, brother. Almost done.
What do you mean?
Well, for all the horrors you have done, there at least was a little part of yourself that I thought at least I could fix. Father did teach us to be understanding that failures are not the be-all end-all of experiments.
You're not real, are you?
Don't know, brother. I could be real, I could be fake. I don't think it particularly matters in this instance. What matters is you.
Well, I just thought if you were real, I would have apologized. But if you're just a manifestation, I guess I don't have to, and I get to take this. My hands is kind of like hover over the heart.
You see, he swats your hand. Not finished yet. You know, I am curious if you're truly here to finish what you started. And understand that to do that, you will have to give the last part of yourself that makes you an honorin.
I can't stop at this point. I can't turn around. there isn't any honoring left, let's be honest.
You see, looks over to you with his glasses down. Well, brother, we always have a choice. But,
And I,
you know, if the world truly is in trouble, then maybe a sacrifice is what is needed. It's a theory, but as you know, and we both know, theory only takes you so far.
well, all things considered, I think that was a poor choice of words, but here we are. Or here I am, following in their footsteps. Sacrifice.
The equation that always has eluded us. But maybe...
We tried.
Well, maybe. And you see he begins to place what looks like to be almost like a glass lid over the opening. Puts down his tools and begins to wind up the heart as he begins to sort of breathe to life. Well, brother, if you are truly here to sacrifice yourself in a sense, it is your will that must be done. As he hands over the heart to you. Very much of like, almost like a soccer ball size or football size.
And they kind of let it rot in their palm for a bit, back and forth, trying to think of the most necessary way of entry. And eventually they get frustrated and just jam it right into their chest.
You see, you try to jam it into your chest and you see it bounces off for a hot second. Now, brother, that heart belongs to an honorer. Before he goes away, going towards the door, if you want to not be us and sacrifice that part of you, you don't get to keep that.
Then why didn't you say so? And just let it roll off back on the table.
Begins to roll off. In slow motion, it does begin to fall as your brother dissipates. But with that, the camera shifts as we go to Skovia. Skovia, you wake up and you find yourself, strangely, out of all places, in the middle of some sort of field, to be honest. You see that it is impossible, but yet you are clearly here. It is a home, in a sense. You see that there are children playing about. There is courtyards. Almost like it has been untouched by what happened before. As people are laughing and everybody's going about their day, you are in the center of town, and with it, a ball gets kicked your way. Slowly rolls to you.
Govia, who I think right now is a child. She herself, small, wearing a little dress, is running to pick up the ball, and there's a weird amount of dissonance in her body as she picks this up because she expects her hands to be, well, big. They're small. Something like 3, 4, 5 years old. She picks it back up and throws it back to whoever. Here you go.
And with that, almost strange in nature, before you is you. Smaller child with starlight wonder in their eyes kind of goes, thanks. What took you so long?
Sort of ages her as she thinks about everything that is to come after this. All of a sudden, she's 8, a little bigger, wearing a dagger on the holster. She's been trained. Just was having a life.
Well, do you know how to play the game? I'm gonna hand you the ball.
She holds it like it's the most precious thing in the world. I never forgot. You first. And she tosses the ball kind of like at a distance, almost like this is some like a game of like you do with like an animal, even though like these are people. I just can't no name for that.
Kind of throwing it back and forth with one another. For a moment, you are not reminded of the war, of your life, particularly. You just remember this essence of peace. Play for a bit until they grab the ball. You feel it too, don't you?
What?
The air changing. The world being different than what we remember.
She looks around and sees the imperfections shifting, not quite the way that she remembered them.
You remember heat. Still very much paintery, but you begin to see the holes begin to...
No, this is how it's supposed to be. Right?
Well, I don't particularly know how things are supposed to be anymore.
What? What do you mean? What? No, you're supposed to remember. That's what we do. I get older and you stay the same. You remember, the flowers that used to be up the hill, Mom and Dad's cooking, the boy we had a crush on.
It's hard to remember a home that barely recognizes you or that you remember. My head is full with other things of a need for survival and to stop anything that would hurt me.
Skovia gets older. She's 13 now. Covered in blood. She just had her first kill. No, forget all of that. No, you were supposed to stay a kid. We were supposed to be kids. We were supposed to grow up. Not have any of that.
Well, and you see they point over to what looks like to be a cracked mirror. And in it, you can see that every shard inside of it is a different Skovia of what could have been if we went left instead of right. If your home wasn't destroyed, Daros didn't find you. If you died with the Coldwells, if you sided with the Coldwells, if you didn't go to the wedding, if all these possibilities, each of them looking at you, almost mimicking your movements of the Skovia that could have been.
He walks over to that mirror, trips, falls, crawls towards it like it is a source of water in a desert. I am always thinking of what could have been. Are you showing me this now?
Well, the world is in trouble, from what I understand, and you have to give a part of yourself in order to save it. As you see, they go over to you and put something in your pocket. But it's your choice at the end of the day. And really, it's up to you. Because you're Scovia, Anakachi. Mighty
World
Warrior.
is always in fucking trouble. I am so sick of helping the world not be in trouble. We were in trouble. What about us? What about our world? What about our home? As Scovia kind of gestures to what is a burning landscape.
Not
Oh.
complete yet, though, as your house is left untouched.
Yeah. I guess that's... Okay. I don't know what you put in my pocket, but I'm not ready to look at it. Let's go home for a little bit.
You kind of turn your head and you see they have gone. Do you reach into your pocket to see what was left behind?
Absolutely not.
You sit there. And you feel as if, even though you do not want this, part of you does. Part of you understands. As it burns a hole in your pocket. What seemed to be a single matchstick that falls and then starts to burn your house down.
No!
And as you try to stop this fire, the camera cuts over to Ajax. Ajax, you find yourself being awakened by water. As you feel the cold bits of it hitting your feet. The grainy hot sand across your back. And the sun looking over. As you wake up and turn around, you see what looks like to be the fresh ruins of the city, shortly after Rhea's rampage. Reminded of the failure to protect Rhea from themselves. But the city does not burn in any sort of horrifying way. If anything, it looks beautiful from the painted scene that it provides, giving off various hues, leaving you breathless. And as you sit down and contemplate, you see, full in their bridal dress, pure and untouched by any sort of blood or shot to the chest, is Rhea, with a bottle of wine in their hand and 2 glasses as their feet go in between the sand and towards you, smiling.
Some honeymoon, Rhea.
Would you care for a drink?
You'd waste that on me.
You were never a waste.
Well, thanks for that, I guess. Ajax takes the glass, pours one for them both, I think. Hands it back
With
to
that-
Rhea.
Thank you. You do notice they do take a bit of a swig from the whole thing before they go to their glass. I never intended for any of this to happen. Hell, I didn't know I was gonna get shot.
Neither did I. You saw it, though. Those last weeks, you were seeing it.
The thing about prophecy is that when one tries to avoid a certain future, it is almost as if you are making it a certainty. Maybe it could have been avoided if I just asked for help. Instead of walking silently and not saying anything to anyone as they take a swig.
Ajax, I think, just puts the glass down and takes the bottle instead, just from Rhea. Drinks as well. Do you think we ever had a chance? Really? Or was I always blood and storms?
By what do you mean?
It's like you said. The more we try to avoid it, the more it tangles us up. I just... Was there ever something else for me? Was I ever kind?
You've always felt this endearing feeling that you were never one of us. I know my sister very much tried to tell you otherwise. But no matter what has happened to you, this house always treated you like an outsider. You protected us, but it never treated you right. And you accepted it.
Are you apologizing to me? I killed you, Rhea.
I don't know if I'm rare or not. From where I'm standing, it doesn't seem fair that you get all the blame for something that it's never really your fault.
Ajax doesn't notice that they're crying until they hear the sound of salt hitting kind of bad wine. I didn't want to do it, Rhea. You were hurting people and you were hurting yourself, and all I could think about was how cruel the world had been to you. How horrible it was to be a person. So we're all caught up in it. There's nothing we could have. There's no hope for us. We're meant to play our roles and serve our purpose, and then I guess we just die.
I don't believe that particularly. But there is one thing I do know, that no matter what anybody tells or writes about you, that you will always be loved for the person you were, who you still are, and who you could have been. You did what you had to do.
Loved.
Loved.
Do you forgive me for killing you?
I don't think that's the right question. As you see, they stand up. It's not about me forgiving you. It's about you understanding what you did. and having the strength to move on. And forgiveness does not play into the heart of a dragon.
Ajax stands after her. Nobody taught me how to do it. How to be a dragon. I had to learn it on my own.
It's quite simple, my dear. They put the bottle in your hand. A dragon breaks the world. So break it and form it into something that better suits you.
I'm sorry, Rhea. I really wanted you to live. I really wanted something else for us, except for it wasn't just blood and storms, but that's all it is, isn't it?
Wipe the tear from your cheek. What is, what will be, are two very different things.
Fire it is, then.
Bottle falls from your hand and begins to... And in this instance, all of you are zoomed out from your areas. As you feel parts of yourself waning, Taika with the heart shattering, Scovia with your house burning, and Ajax with the bottle breaking. You realize part of you is still dying. But soon you find yourself floating among the stars as the collective minds of all of you. And you begin to hear and see the beating heart of this place, as it is large and ever expansive, consuming the entirety of this vacuum of space here, made of starlight and diamonds that reflect various memories and emotions of the Emperor, of Daros, of the Exalted. And soon you see chairs, thrones forming ever so high, looking down on you. 8 in total, and with it, the sort of golden-like images of various deities that belong to the Pantheon begin to form and take their seats as they stare at you in judgment. Their symbols, their banners floating in this space. Daros is easy to spot, but the others are here as well. Except for the Emperor, who is nowhere to be seen. Before you see their large, winged armor vestige appear. And with their sword they point at you. You have made it. You made the ultimate sacrifice. But do you understand what it means to be divine, is my question to you, to us.
I do not wish to be divine. I wish to be a dragon.
Looks at you, turns over to you, Scovia.
Scovia is on her knees. Right now she's 21, and then she glitches, and she's 25, and she glitches, and she's the present age. This is suffering. This is not divinity.
And With that, turn their eyes over to you, Taika.
Haven't we sacrificed enough to answer your fucking question?
You see their wings begin to float, appear, and encircle their body as they begin to speak in a tongue that none of you are familiar with. From this day forward, your bravery, your sacrifice will transform you. You will no longer be the orphan. Looks to you, Scovia. The scholar looks over to you, Taika. Or even the dragon looks over to you, Ajax. You will rather be aspects of what it means to be a god, and the responsibility that comes from this power. You will no longer be mortals, but legends, known for either their success in saving the day, or their failures to prevent the Dark Knight from ushering in. And you see a golden road begin to appear towards you and towards the heart. Each in your hands, a bit of stone. Walk the road if you complete the process, if that is your wish. Or perish. It's your choice. And we will be watching. As you see the eyes of the Exalted look down on all of you.
Fucking easy. Scovia takes this rock, tosses it to the side. Fuck this.
Toss it. Ajax.
Ajax holds on to the stone so hard that it bites into the corner of their hand. I look down at Scovia, at Taika, and there are pieces pulling at the edges of them. Everything that Rhea had just said, that they take a step forward and then pause, turn up at the Exalted. This doesn't feel like ascension. This feels like being prodded down the cattle path. This feels like a leash being tugged at their throat, pulling them down, pulling them further, and they're not quite sure where to go or how to stop. And I think I don't... We've already given it up. It's... Why are you making us do this? Why are you making us walk into it? You already took it from us. Our futures.
No response as they just stare. Like gods do.
Scovia is hyperventilating, full of anger, but I'm gonna let Taika speak.
Taika just looks at the two of them.
The Scovia is...
Go ahead.
No, you see Scovia is seeming to... about to explode.
To which it shakes its head. For all the years, a lifetime that I've known the two of you, you both have been so wildly emotional. I don't understand. And I guess it was never my job to understand either of you. And they just walk, shaking their head.
Just like that. You've never understood. You will be fine with them, Taika. Look. 6 of them staring down. We've never even met them. Only 2 of them stay on this goddamn plane to what? Corral us? Make choices on how to be mortal when they haven't been mortal in fucking centuries? And we're supposed to do that. We're supposed to join them in all that. How can you be a god if you can't even relate to the mortals that you lord over? Fuck this. And fuck you, Taika.
Nothing.
Ajax is pulled in half. Scovia.
She's not even looking at you. She's looking up at these gods that apparently have always been there.
Ajax is looking too. I have I have never asked you for more than what I was owed. Have I?
Scovia looks away from the gods and looks at you. No. You're quite, conservative in that regard.
Let this be the one time that I ask. Don't fucking leave me alone here.
Ajax, what do you mean? As Scovia closes the gap.
And Ajax takes a step back, like they're moving further down the road.
Ajax.
I don't think we have a choice.
They keep saying there's a choice, Ajax.
When Rhea spoke to us, the prophecies, did you fight it?
Kind of.
Did you fight what she saw? Did you fight everything? And with every step that you fought, did it punish you? Did it make you worse? Did it make you a monster?
We can be more? Maybe?
Not like this. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. It's just a little further down the road. And then we can...
That's not salvation. Look at all of this. They're watching us. Dancing like they're little fucking puppets, Ajax. You will be a dog for the rest of eternity.
Shut up, Scovia! If I get down there, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be so powerful no one can fucking stop me. I'm not gonna be anyone's dog.
There it is. From dog to dragon, Ajax, you will be on a leash forever. And so would I. I'm not walking down that fucking road. Go without me. You've got Taika.
The little split of open-faced, pitiable heartbreak that cracks open through Ajax nearly sends the rock into pieces in their hand. You too, then.
As you turn away, not Ajax, as you turn away, Scovia, like, places a hand out, but doesn't say anything.
And they don't feel it. They don't feel your hand that's not there. They don't feel the words that don't come. And they follow after Taika.
No, what are you gonna do, Scovia? As you see your two-
Scovia sees the two of them walk away, and her heart breaks too. Maybe it breaks in three. Two pieces going with the two people that she has walked this horrible, jagged road with. And then she looks up at the gods. You know, I've never been good at making decisions. I always fucking back out at the last minute. But this time I know it's right. Joining you would be a fucking mistake.
And as you say that out loud, you are not participating, Scovia, in this event?
Oh.
Ajax, do you participate in this event?
Yes.
And Taika, do you participate in this event?
I do.
Scovia, the bridge forms away, leaving you within the sort of voidless space that is here. My other two, you reach the precipice of this cold stone that echoes similar spots, and in your hand you find there are the stone and a stonemason's tool for you to cut a section and replace the Emperor's stone with your own inside of it, to become one with the Exalted. As two of you decide to kill a god, while one of you decides to spare a god, I'm gonna need everyone here to please roll me a 2d6, if you'd be so kind.
I love the God Killer system!
I am playing with the rules here, little bit, audience. This is from the lovely game God Killer by Connie. So we're just borrowing this rule a quick second here, just for story purposes. So I need everybody to roll a 2d6.
What is this? A crossover episode?
Maybe it is. We're gonna find out.
I rolled an 11.
Oh,
I heard that.
Overkill.
I rolled a 7.
A 7. 7's not bad, bad boy. 7's not bad.
Oh my god, I love this. I rolled a 2.
With that, going one by one here. I'll leave Scovia for last, if anything. I think that's a fun bit we'll get to. But with that, Ajax, you cut a section here. And my question for you, further, is what are you taking? As you are on a strong hit here, their death transform liberates or shields an aspect of the world. But in this instance here, you are replacing your own, something part of you, into the Emperor in exchange. So what are you taking away from the Emperor?
I am taking her wrath.
And what are you putting inside?
My humanity.
And almost like its ceiling goes in as the stone in your hand smokes red as it begins to seep and form into one of your sections of your arms like a really messed up bracelet, embedding itself inside. As you feel something coming in with that, going over to you, Taika, what are you taking from the Emperor?
I'm taking her wit.
And what are you giving?
My empathy.
You take your stone, and with it, instead of forming on your sort of bracelet, it's more in a sense of begins to go forward towards your head, straight in the center of where your mind is, as it begins to embed itself inside, as you feel you transforming from the head, slowly from the body. But Scovia, you do not want to play this game. And from my knowledge, you got a 2 here, if I'm not mistaken.
I did. Oh, how I wish I got a 10.
In this instance, your mercy is eternal. And you can never kill them again. As you feel something hit you in the back of a stream of light. The Emperor. You may not be part of our pantheon, but you know of our secret. You may keep that part of yourself that you hold so close to you, but you still will change.
Fuck you.
It is not for me, Scovia, but for the world you love so dearly. You
Oh,
are lucky
Mira.
I do not blink you into existence.
And she is... Am I stabbed through?
You feel like an energy almost in your back. It's pouring into you, and you notice that it is going from that gold light into something more purplish and chaotic. As you notice that the energy that lies on the almost borderline of their space cross into some other plane that's using you being on the border as an attraction, as you're sort of being filled with these two energies here.
Horrifying. I turn around, struggling, and I look at the Emperor, and I place a hand on their face. You fucking conqueror. You all took my home. You took the world that I love. But I want to give you something. And Chris, I
Yes.
don't fail a lot in this. I haven't failed a lot. Just that's how the rogues
Okay,
happen.
Yeah.
And I would like to bargain with you that I feel like that's my third failure ever. Could I potentially re-roll to attempt to give the Emperor a curse?
You know, I have a funsies. Why don't you just roll that? I don't do another 2d6. Let's see what you got here. You got the
Yeah.
border here, so if you mess this up, I'm not gonna be good enough for you.
Okay. What do I need?
It's just a 2d6, so what did you get?
10.
Got a 10? Oh, lucky bastard. Is it
5
you,
plus-
you perform, so in this sense, they will perform a favor for you, via the rules, but also
Oh,
you
I
can
see.
bind them with the curse, so you get to do what
A
you do.
fucking
They,
curse.
you must say something, though, that they must never do, or that they must obey. They can't break it, but there's consequences. It's very much a two-way
Yeah.
street here. Because you are technically giving part of yourself, but
Yeah.
they also get to take something as well. So what do you say as you are looking dead in the Emperor's large eyes? Again, this is not just your height. This is like a colossal being that is staring you
Yeah.
down.
Oh, God, I didn't think this far. I thought I'd fail.
No, you fucked with the God Emperor, and now this is where you are. So what
Yeah.
are we doing?
Scovia is being stabbed with a fucked up energy that's turning purple and is going to grab onto, we're going to say it's a sword, and pull it through her, pulling, coming closer and closer until she's touching the gargantuan Emperor. You... At the end of it all, I told you, Mira, that I wanted to watch the end. So when the end comes for you, you will be frozen by all of the sins that you have committed, by all of the homes that you have taken, by all of the people that you've changed like me. I may not be able to kill you, but I'm sure someone will. And in the moment when your death comes, you won't be able to stop it. I promise. And that is the curse that I wish to inflict upon the Emperor.
They hold you by your face as you begin to feel a burn on your side of your neck. That may be true, but you are no god killer. You never will be. But you will fight this day. So help me, by the laws of order and chaos, you will finish this battle, whether you like it or not. I take your curse, and I give it back twice full. Transform, heretic. As they toss you into the void, you feel this energy begin to go into you, and each of you in your almost cocoon-like sacs begin to, as your eyes for Taika and Ajax glow a bright golden yellow, but for you, Scovia, a stormy and chaotic purple, as you begin to, as your cocoons crack, your bones begin to break, and what does everybody transform into? Starting with our lovely Ajax, as your bones crack, your very essence changes.
Ajax has turned into a dragon many, many, many times since Rhea died. Since that first time, they had plunged into the water, had been thrown into the water by the woman who murdered Rhea. And in that fit of rage, had transformed for the very first time. This transformation is entirely unlike that one, and is entirely the same. Ajax's bones don't crack, shift, and reform. They are entirely remade. Inside of that water, there is a flame that is hotter than dragon fire, a flame that is hotter than a soul. It is fury in its purest, most undiluted form. Betrayal. Heartbreak. And that essence, that fire, remakes them completely. It destroys every essence, every memory, every spoken word, every hope, every little human dream of perseverance is swallowed by the cacophony of fire. And the dragon that reforms out of it, the red-scaled beast, has 3 eyes, 4 sets of wings, and is the size of a city. It is gargantuan, and it is always on fire.
Almost like car exhaust. As you feel yourself change. Going over to you, Taika, how do you transform as your bones crack and rave in this liquid?
It's so confusing. Honestly, all of it never made sense to begin with. And it's very slow as it observes itself. It's distinctly feline, sphinx-like. And it's just like a curious movement of joints, possibly not as large as Ajax, but something formidable, because Taika has never had or understood physical prowess. And in that itself is dangerous. Almost like a baby snake not knowing how to control its venom. It's new and it is toxic. But there is a sense of pride.
Seeping through, and last but not least, Scovia. While we can't see it, the transformations of our lovely new exalted here are not as painful as yours is that of a heretic. And you will feel pain in your transformation. What do you turn
Perfect.
into?
Scovia is made and unmade again and again and again until the very atoms of her body dissipate in the dark space that she is existing. Scovia fell through the floor, the purple, whatever the fuck this was, and she became nothing. And then she became something, and it happened again and again and again until she was dust. But Scovia is formidable at rebuilding herself from nothing. She's done it again and again. So every time she becomes dust, she learns. And that dust begins to form and crystallize into a boot, and then a torso, and then a face that is crying. Eternal black tears. Streaks go down her face that go into her neck like a collar, a chain, something that she can never get rid of. The brand that the Emperor placed on her face goes down onto the neck. It reads something in a language she hasn't quite learned yet. That coat that she wore that was white is now pitch black, laying against her body. You can't see the edges of it because they don't exist. They are an eternal dust, just like she is. Never one part of Scovia's body is physical. There's always a part that seems like it's crawling away, reaching towards something that is not there. But dark as night, she climbs back up.
With that, you all are transformed in this instance. And as you take in for a moment, you see the area around the city begins to... As you see busting from the nearby, what you can only guess, but you know for sure, Ajax, capital? Or the main palace in which the family used to reside, burst open as you see what looks like to be Thea, but rather than one head has three, each with their own form of frost that covers ever so slightly, almost like three mountains moving, their heads shifting in nature, wings expansive. You think you can take our city? You will burn! As you see, they ice from one of the mouths. From the might of the dragonlords! And your world will be nothing. As you see, they begin to shoot at individuals. Fires begins to burn up. As you see, the city itself is going upwards here. And the hole that is in the sky is still open. What are you doing in this instant?
Scovia moves first, as she always does. This time it is mechanical at first, as the curse is pulling her towards it. And then she gets a sense of bitterness. I'm not letting her make me do anything. And the rest of her body goes along with it. Scovia pulls out that dagger that she got from the Emperor many episodes ago, coats it in, dust particles, nothingness, and are they breathing a fire at us or something? Like
ice, but in terms
ice.
of so forceful and fast that it explodes on the ground. You see that the ice they're exploding isn't even ice blue. It is like this really weird starishy purple that shoots, hits, leaving off that sort of, for a moment, ice particles that sort of but then after a moment, it violently shakes and explodes after, giving it a double effect.
Nice. Scovia is, as we'll say, that there's like a stream of that coming forward that Scovia is running towards at a speed that is incomprehensible to even her. Pulls out that blade and just cuts that stream in half to basically dissipate it, to explode into a pathway.
Fantastic. You're doing that. Ajax, what are you doing?
It's like this groaning noise. And that groaning noise is the sound of the earth bending underneath Ajax's weight as they launch themselves up into the air to meet Rhea. And the ice meets fire, 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 fire. And it's not a roar that comes out of Ajax, it's a scream. A scream. The dragon sounds like it's screaming in pain. But it unleashes exactly what Rhea saw. Blood and storms. And they just destroy.
The minute it comes out of your mouth, it is like a shockwave. As you see the air dissipates, glass breaks in its instance as it begins to do a little bit of an ice and fire match between the three heads using it. You're doing that. I'll make you guys roll in a second. Just want to get what everybody's doing here. But with that, Taiko, what are you doing in this instant?
Unfortunately, all that fire, 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 and ice makes rain. And this giant cat hates it. It kind of just like lurches back and then finally, in discomfort. And then remembers, wait, I have wings now. I can fly. So it takes flight. It's a gnat compared to this fucking dragon, but it's there.
Lovely, lovely. Are you doing anything just kind of escaping, or are you trying to deal? Very much you have two objectives here. You have the one giant dragon goddess that is before you, but also the crack that is in the upper echelons of the sky that is still open and breathing in, almost like taking the city up.
Yeah, I should probably take care of that.
I just ask, you don't have to. You don't.
No, I think that's perfect. I'm gonna fix that.
Fantastic. All right, so with that, I think Arcana check from you, my lovely Taika. For you, Ajax, I'm trying to think. Either you can attack, or you can make this at a kind of athletics check to see if you can sustain this for as long. So either attack if you want to kind of really push yourself, or you can use it to sustain athletics. So I'll give you that choice there. And then for you, Scovia, I think an acrobatics check is in order here as you're sort of jumping.
Oh, thank God you're being nice to me.
Well, it's what you're doing. No, you're gonna have to make a straight check to see if you break that glass. You know what I mean?
Oh, fuck yeah. Back to not failing. I got I don't remember my fucking modifier. It's like 19 plus 11, 30.
Fantastic. 30 with that. What about you, Ajax?
27.
Fantastic. And Taika, what about you for your Arcana check here?
I hate you guys. Let me roll. That is a normal number of 15. 15?
Loser.
Loser.
Chose to be a god and
Oh
can't
my
even
god,
roll
you
above
didn't
a
min-max your character sheet?
Little fucking normie.
Wet
With
cat.
that, with that, you begin to calculate, and in your mind, Taika, you'll be able to think fast, but this is speed beyond comprehension, as you are able to run not just equations, but scenarios, almost as if predicting what will happen next. As after images of your actions play in your mind, and in an instant, you remember the god bomb you have, or the makeshift one anyway, and know that you don't need it. You don't need to explode anything. You just need its energy. And you think if given enough space, you can use that energy to repair the seal that's atop of you there. So that's what you get from you there. For my other two, Ajax, as you are, were you doing strength or were you attacking?
I was using strength.
Gotcha. Athletics, I meant. You're using athletics. With that, you're able to keeping that as you're at this point very much going around each other as the heads are very much trying to be in unison going after you. At this moment, Scovia, you are cracking these pieces of ice that would be very dangerous for most of your army as they kind of retreat back. But in this instance, providing enough cover for everybody to sort of get back where they need to go. And you do notice that while not acting in particularly, still helping people get out, Daros watches in glee and amazement. Almost like a bit like a madman in this instance, as he's helping everybody get up. With that in mind, I think I'm going to go to Taika here, as you notice what you have to do. So what are you doing in this instance?
Well, when it comes to absorbing this energy, can I just eat the bomb? Just
same thing goes
Okay.
out the same way.
yeah.
No pun intended.
You're so funny, Chris. Massive paw on this bomb, just consume.
Gotcha.
Jaw.
I'm gonna need a con save, if I'd be so kind. I think con save's the
Why?
best here. Well, you just consumed a bomb, so what do you think was gonna happen?
That I get to do what I want.
Yeah, let's just make it. You're doing what you want. Let's just see if there's any repercussions of doing what you want.
Okay, that is a 17.
17. All right. With that, you do notice, swallow it. You do notice it begins to boom, boom, explodes inside. But with that, almost like blood transfusion, you see the energy explodes, diffuses into your veins as it starts from your neck, goes all around towards your hand as you are redirecting that energy. Are you closing this, or are you closing it, or are you just gonna control its door opening right now? From my knowledge here, I'm very curious.
Above table, I'm gonna ask my aspects, even the fucked up one. What do you guys think I should do?
I think you should control its energy and be a mad bad scientist.
Okay.
I don't necessarily disagree.
Be worse.
All
You're a
right.
god now with no empathy. It's time to do.
You're
fucked up
right.
science.
I have no empathy.
You're a
Wow!
villain. In this instance, then, if you're gonna go that way, you can control the closing and opening. So you can close this whenever you want, but you are keeping it open for whatever reason you want to, as you're able to controlling that energy as the begins to sift from sort of the anchor points that it has in the city towards you. The city's still floating up, but at a slower pace. My other two, you do notice this as you see Taika has some sort of control with whatever rift is going up. At this instance, Ajax, what are you doing as you see this opening?
Ajax is completely... Oh, I had an idea. Ajax is completely focused on Thea. Just entirely focused. And the noises coming out of them almost sound like they're trying to say something, but it's just coming out in this hollow, cracked, dragon-like scream that just erupts fire around every half word, as it should be. Here's what I want to... Let me just tell you what I want to do, Chris.
Yeah, are you
And I'll
all
just-
laughing when you tell me? Just say it. It's all right. Just get on old Santa's lap here and just ask what you want for Christmas.
So I want to fly Rhea up into that rift. Like, I want to... excuse me, not Rhea, Thea. I grab Thea's body in my fucking jaws, kind of like the robot, and fly upward into the rift, toss her through it, and let Taika close it.
Lovely, lovely. If you be so kind, I think this is going to be opposing strength check. So make a strength check for me, if you be so kind.
Okay, I would happily do that. 17.
17. With that, you get closer. Almost like at each time the heat turns up, it's like a new Mach as something else breaks in the distance until you grab them by the side and begin to go up. Skova, you see this going up as you see Ajax is going towards the crack in the sky, holding up the individual. What are you doing in this instance?
I'm a rogue. We don't have a period of history where gods kill gods, right? Is that a thing here too, or no?
I mean,
It's fine.
it's
I'm-
relative.
It's
in
that's
your
fine.
knowledge. If you want, you
Now-
can roll a
Yeah.
religion check.
Yeah, I want
It's
to.
okay.
Gods. I basically, me knowing God Killer and me playing this game are a nightmare. Why did I roll that? I don't know why I rolled 2d6.
Should be
I'm
a
silly.
wisdom save. You locked in. You're locked in.
That's so funny. Wisdom saving throw?
No. It's just a religion check. I'm saying use wisdom.
That's intelligence, and I have intelligence. I think that's a 15. We're gonna say 15.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Intel. What that? 15.
Yeah.
What are you specifically looking for, so I can help you?
I
narrow
basically
your
want to
search down?
know what happens when a god kills a god. I kind of want to intuit that.
From what you know, very little, but
Yeah.
you can essentially guess, especially from what you just seen. You get a piece and you give a piece, depending on how it goes.
Okay, fun. I want to be a rogue. I want to be a godlike rogue and basically steal this kill
Gotcha.
because I see where this is going. I want to. I basically want to like the equivalent of stealth, sneak attack, steal the kill. As like at the last moment when Thea's body is this Thea or Rhea? This Thea. Thea's body is about to be bisected.
With that, there's going to be a number of checks. First off, I'm going to need a sleight of hand check, and I'm going to need perception checks for my other two lovely players here. Not PvP, just a little bit.
The end of it all.
A little amuse bouche of PvP. So
15.
whatever, 15. So I want to very clear. You didn't roll yet, Scovia, did you or no?
I did, but I can.
Don't
not.
roll.
Okay, I won't. I won't.
Don't
I
roll
won't.
yet. I want to see. So we got 15.
That's fine.
Taiko, what about you? What's your perception check?
19.
19. You gotta beat a 19 is what you have to beat there, Scovia. For 19 is the highest, but let's see what you get. That's what you gotta beat so they don't notice what you're doing.
Easy.
Stop smiling, actually.
I've never felt the silly little dumb grin that rogue players get when they're like, I'm gonna do something against my party. Anyway, I don't know why you try. 14 plus 13.
Fantastic. With that, you are able to.
Rogues are broken. What the fuck?
Yeah, they
Yeah, I hate that,
really
actually.
are. With that, you go in, going through. In this instance, you're going in on the side. You can see there's a bit of recognition within Dea's eyes that kind of agrees to this. In this instance here, make an attack check if you be so kind.
Me?
Yes, you, Scovia.
Yay! Oh god. Whatever, I'm using the cool dagger, I'm using those stats. Big number. I think it's like 30 something.
30 something. With that, going up, Ajax. What is your plan or your intention to do with Thea here?
So there's this open rift, right? That Thea's trying to pull our home islands into. Ajax is like, that's a bad idea. Ajax is trying to fly them into the rift to kill her in there. Or to throw her in there so she gets trapped behind the rift, wherever it leads, and that Taika can close it up so that she gets stuck in there, basically. But nothing else does, but the city doesn't come with her.
Is that your intention, Taika? For my curious eyes here?
Oh, I was muted when I said that. You're muted if you're talking, V.
Yeah, I was muted.
Okay.
Google Meets knows what I said. Anywho, circling back. I feel like that's being communicated because I'm hyper intelligent and aware now. And they're just kind of like playing with the rift with like one claw just lavishly back and forth, opening, closing, just, making chaos reign. But as Ajax comes up with Rhea? Which one?
Thea.
Thea! When coming up with Thea, they just like pull one like claw back, just slow drag it, opening up even wider to wound the world.
Very much. You two working in unison, opening, having an understanding. With that, Ajax, you toss Thea inside there, screeching. Slow motion as you begin to charge up. Until from almost the side of your vision, like dust going through the shine of Scovia, as you throw your dagger in front, you see all this energy begins to suck into it as this void that is atop begins to siphon into this dagger and hits it in the neck of the main area. And you see this energy begins to rot everywhere. I need another 2d6.
Oh god, I forgot about this!
I spared a god and I killed a god. So one more, if you be so kind, as you are killing someone who did turn themselves into a god.
Oh, that's sick as hell. I was told to do this, so I can't violate a curse.
This
7.
game is so silly.
With that, on a 7,
Got a
as
bad.
you are hitting them with this.
7's a nice full hit.
Oh, thank God.
Didn't you did get a hit? You didn't give part of yourself to the Emperor, but in this instance, you feel yourself in almost a blanket-like state, very much in that similar fashion in which you were with everybody, with the Emperor and all the other gods. As you look at Thea, who is confused as what's going on, as you see their energy is beginning to rot from the bottom of their feet upward, as they're confused at you. What did you do to me?
I don't know, but if they killed you, things would get worse here.
As you see, the getting on their knees. That wasn't right.
I
Who the
think
fuck do you think you are?
I'm Scovio Nikachi, and I am a reluctant god.
Ah. You see they get down. So, Scovia, you kill me. That's a twist that I didn't see coming.
Trust me, I wouldn't if I couldn't, as she points to the presumably like disintegrating curse on her neck as she's done the thing.
So we are both cursed. Fucked up.
Yeah? I was kind of inquisitively asking. And I think Scovia is this like in the portal on the ground?
Very much slow motion. They are dying. It's very much in a
Yeah.
headspace. And very much
Got it,
you're
that's right. Okay.
reading in between each other as you are having a transfer of power. There is a connection
Yeah.
at the moment.
I think Scovia, seeing that whatever this fucked up god power that she is using but doesn't understand is rotting the self-made god, I think Scovia begins to place all of her, we'll say particles under the falling body to kind of cradle it in an act of kind of care, ripping out the dagger but blotting the wound. It's not going to help, but it might make it less painful. Yeah. You're cursed.
what you're doing to me. I won't get to see my family. You took that.
Ah. I think I understand my power now.
So, what will you do with it? Almighty God. Be their fucking puppet. Why,
No.
people?
Apparently I'm a heretic. First god that's a heretic, I guess. What would you like me to do? I will not be a part of the Empire. They've taken my home already.
You see, they grab you and whisper in your ear. I will give you my ice. The cold that I feel. In exchange for one thing. Destroy them all. Rip their idols from their temples. Burn every existence that they were ever around. And give people the right to choose what they believe in. Not what they're told to believe in.
For the first time in this whole story, Scovia feels impassioned at an order, a request, favor. That's the most right it's ever felt. I will.
Go forth as they touch your chest. God killer. As they push you away, and you see that Thea's body begins to shrivel, and snow begins to form as the fissure begins to close, automatically pushing the rest of you back. The island rests calmly. And in this instance, a terrible feeling goes over each of you. It is anxiety-inducing. It is concerning. It is debilitating. The war is over. And you are the victors. That's why we'll take a quick break as we return for the second half of this. So please, everyone, go to El Baño, grab yourself a snack, and we'll be right back. We'll see you soon. hello everyone, and welcome back to the second half of this lovely stream. With that in mind, a quick shout out to the lovely people that have sponsored us. First and foremost, Tales of the Valiant. We're not playing God Killer, though we use some of its lovely rules, but we're primarily using Tales of the Valiant. It is a wonderful system made by Cobalt Press. You can type !TOV to check out all their stuff, including this game system, the new book, Enter the Labyrinth, which is about all the other planes that are around that you can travel, and their Monster Vault 2 Kickstarter, in which they're making another book of monsters for you to use from, and use all these cool things in your own game. Also, as you can see here, we had some lovely scenes and maps from the lovely folks over at Chapeku. They have a bunch of maps, animated scenes, and tomorrow we'll be showing off their token builder system, which is lovely. But you'll find out more about that tomorrow. With that in mind, I think what we hear next is a round of applause. As time moves fast forwards about a couple days, as for the most part, the heroes are rejoiced as we see not only this large vestige of Ajax flying into one of the nearby sections of the palace, but also Taika, though Scovias remain to be seen. What we see before us is a round of applause from all of the victors and losers in this war. All of them here to give penance to the gods, or to thank them for their service in this war. And you see, as the two of you make your way into the center, everyone looks to you, and there is an overall feeling of youth accomplishment in this. And I'm very curious, we're just going through our minds here as you walk down the aisle to receive your reward, starting off with you, Ajax.
Moving is a new and strange thing. Everything is so small, tiny, underneath them. But this feels like taking those last few steps, feeling that stone in their hand, the masonry, just a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. And then it's Rhea's voice, and it's playing on repeat in the back of their mind. Yes, blood and storms, blood and storms, blood and storms, but what comes after? This is it. This is finally after. Ajax has lived their entire life, their entire existence meant for war. To play that role, and they have fulfilled it entirely, completely. And now they get to decide. Nobody else gets to decide. They get to decide what comes after.
Taika, what about you? As you make your way, no longer in your cat form, as you have a normal form you can change back into.
Even though they've shifted forms, the ego and pride has carried over into this body, and it's strange to see Taika with their head held high, beaming, almost reborn in regalia that was never truly meant for them. It looks awkward seeing them so happy and confident, but that they are strutting like a peacock.
And as you do, you make your way to the center of this throne room, as the Emperor in their golden mask and elegant robes comes down, and to the side of them, Daros, presenting them medals for our heroes. The Emperor proceeds. You have shown us what it means to be loyal defenders of our glorious empire. You have shown what it means to understand divinity and to serve it with a purpose, not only in, defending it, but showing how its citizens can excel and be exalted themselves. To each of you, I give you your medals. Not for you to wear proudly on your chest, but rather to remind you of the service you have given the Empire. To you, Ajax, I give you a medal from the Ironfire Island, And to you, Taika, the greatest honor, scholar, I could ever forget within the Empire. You no longer are servants, you are one of us. Gods, aspects. Rise. See, there's sort of a round of applause from everybody. This war has been unlike any other, as you two are sort of ushered to the side as they give their speech. The Ironfire Islands have been conquered and the dragonlords have been slain, making this empire whole once more. Even though our enemies have been pushed back into the void they belong to, we must remember what caused this conflict. There's a little bit of a murmur from both sides. They were pushed into conflict. And there's sort of a bit of a... Their time made them confused. But we must examine why this happened so that our empire never breaks again. And we have drawn conclusions. And you see forming behind them, Daros was there, but coming out of the various portals from the side are the rest of the Pantheon, who will make their way to their respective seats, looking down. The great houses have shown they have failed to uphold the values of unity, compassion, and cooperation that is needed to make our dream, the people's dream, a reality. And it is with a heavy heart, but with a clear mind, that I strip away the power of your great houses. And there is just a cacophony of, What? What do you mean? This is heresy! This is this! And sort of murmurs and screaming was going through the mind of my two lovely individuals here. Taika?
Even though they're still and watching, nothing reaches an emotional response because that's what they sacrificed. Instead, they're scanning the room, eyes darting and nearly rolling back as it examines all possibilities. Things that could happen, what might possibly happen, what seems to be the strongest of these infinities, in just lies in wait.
I think the possibility presents itself from beside you as Ajax kind of rouses. There's some part of that. The houses, they were never really part of the houses anyway. The houses can do what the houses please. But something pricks at Ajax, and I think they actually speak. And it's through this, this draconic throat, heavy with ember and soot and flame. You're wrong about one thing. The dragonlords are not dead. I still live. Oh, you're muted, Chris.
They look behind you. They're not able to read their emotion. Their eyes give away the astonishment they have. Do not worry, my loyal aspect. The houses will not be punished. They have suffered enough with the loss of their loved ones. But their positions of power, they will never hold again. They will never make a decision without my say, for it is my burden to lead my flock, my people.
Yes, and perhaps your flock will follow you, but mine will follow me. I served you quite loyally, did I not? Now I will return home, where I belong.
And you may do that. But never again will the Dragon Lord rule the Ironfire Island.
I am a dragon lord!
There is a silence.
And I dare you to take it from me.
Are you, as they look towards you, slowly, calmly walking towards you, performing heresy in my throne room?
It is not heresy, it is only what I was promised.
To speak when not spoken to.
You made me a god. You said this is what I deserve, this is how we have always spoken.
But there are moments, child, where there are no questions. Where there are no if and or buts. There's only silence and following orders. Because that is what keeps them from committing war horrors, from murdering family members, from taking away people's livelihoods. Surely you can understand that aspect.
There are always questions. And Ajax turns and looks to Taika. They had walked side and side with Taika for years now. And it had always been there. All three of them had always been there, and now there are only two. And Ajax looks to Taika. For the questions, yes, the questions that always rise. And I do understand, and I will lead my home well with the lessons from this war.
They look around, begin to turn their back to you. Understandable, my lord. You can rule your islands that you are so attached to. But you committed a sin in my worship, in front of my pupil. And their eyes look over to you, Taika. If you are truly one of us, how would you deal with this sin?
And I think on the last syllable of sin, they snap to. They have been very quiet, lips trembling, muttering different outcomes. And when their eyes snap open, they are bright and feline. In a fluid slide step, they just stand in front of Ajax, looking up, but not diminished, just studying, chittering like a feline would at a canary. And with a slow drawback of their arm, it shifts back into that massive paw, claws extended, and throws right into Ajax's neck. But it's not a punch. It isn't pain. It melts right into the flesh. And with a couple gestures, just curls it forward. And in its throat is such a delicious purr as they slowly draw an essence out. Like a string being plucked, it's golden and bright. And once it pulls from Ajax's throat, you can hear her last retaliations, her frustrations, everything. And the paw kind of plays with it like yarn.
The last thing that Ajax's voice says, small and weak in your hand, in your paw, is no, I don't want to be a...
Shh. It's okay. You're going to be okay. Everything's been okay. And it crushes it. And that essence roils in his hand. But that's not all. No, please continue, DM, before I go crazy.
You just notice that it's almost like a snowball or a snow globe as it crushes, and you see what was part of you, your voice. Funny enough, falls to the ground like snow. Like some sort of sick fucking joke. As it melts away on the ground.
The dragon that was Ajax Rosfi is very still. The dragon that was Ajax Rosfi has no name. It is just fury on a leash.
You, Taika, as you finish that, you see the horror and fury that is within Ajax's face. What are you doing?
Isn't that better?
The jaws open. Like the instinct is there to swallow you and be done with it. To burn it all down. To burn the world until it's nothing but storm and blood. The impulse is there. And the fire in the back of their throat clicks on.
I hope that fire keeps you warm. And with that same paw just flicks upward, it makes a smaller rift. One that opens wide into a darkened abyss. It's already cold. It's seeping through the entire hall. And Taika just steps aside and gestures to it.
What's more fucked up? The hope died with their heart. The hope died with their humanity, and their voice died with you. So Ajax goes into that dark hole that you make for them. Loyal to the end.
And with that, you teleport inside. Something else follows suit that not many people see, but as you do, you find yourself home within one of its many death caverns. But again, as almost of a sick joke, you see forming on the wall, being almost in the sense of transported from the capital to there, the painting that they had left of their sister. Now, opposite of them, Thea praying upwards as snow falls on them, so that you remember your place in this world. in this instance, as it sets in, Scovia materialized ever so quickly where Ajax is, seeing what just went down and understanding the pain that they're going through. What do you do? Or do you even break out of your form to provide comfort?
Scovia has always had a soft spot for Ajax. So I think in the closest thing that she can get to that human form, the Scovia that you know appears. Her god form isn't that different from this Scovia, other than, the mass of dust and scary-looking tattoos, but this Scovia, this humanoid Scovia, still carries those black marks that look like tear marks on her face. Like a nice tattoo. But far too divine. She kind of turns around. That coat that she usually wears, that white coat, I think it's gray now. Fitting for all of the things that we did together. Looking back at the portal that you presumably walking out of it as if it was a door behind you. Ugh, that was pretty bad, bud.
The dragon that used to be Ajax Rosfi swivels its massive head back at you, and its eyes don't even recognize you.
Fuck. I guess this is the part where I would say I told you so, but I think you know enough. Would you like to speak right now?
It tilts its head, takes a step forward.
Come here. Asks you to place your very large head down to his hands. Scovia puts a hand on your heart. This will be temporary, but sharing a piece of her heart with you. Or maybe you've always had it. That piece you took that day you walked and turned away. When you speak, it's Scovia's voice, but it is your words.
The thing that comes out of Scovia's mouth to speak is not a word. It is a long, dark cry.
I just hold Ajax. I don't think there's any words that could comfort this.
After the cry comes, the dragon rounds on you again. Its head looks down. And though there's no voice, the message is clear. If you stay here, the dragon that was Ajax Rosfi will kill you.
I know, buddy. I'll miss you. I'm sorry I couldn't say that before we became gods. Ajax, I care about you so deeply, more than I think even I knew. You were always more. No. To me, you were never someone on a leash. You were my big guy. Just happened to do what I asked, and I appreciated every single time. So, like I told you then, and I'll tell you now, when the day comes when you have to make a choice, one that goes beyond your orders, one that goes beyond the leash, please choose the thing that you want.
The light clicks on in their throat. The maw opens. It's like looking into another planet. And they turn you back into dust. It's how hot the fire is that comes out of their mouth.
And Scovia dissipates, but she does not die.
You are quite right. You tell him. At this moment, you go through and find yourself on one of the nearby canopies of the upper echelons of the Imperial Palace. Taika, you are here along with Daros and the Emperor. The Emperor goes, "Thank you very much, Taika. It is sad to see that your others, companions, could not see the dangers that we as a society face."
Anything.
For your loyalty, my dear servant, we will let you in on our secret. Daros, thank you very much. Now, you probably heard about the Witch and the Crow, no prophecy that comes from time to time from doomsayers and, all those like. Are you familiar with the term or the phrase?
Unfortunately.
When the third Cataclysm happened, many spoke of our feats of killing oblivion and setting the world free. Death and its gaze, but that simply isn't true. You see, we kind of locked it away in a place where it could never hurt us, but there are locks and keys. That's us, and now you. It is important that we do not die, or those gates and those locks on those keys begin to break, and that could cause trouble for the Empire and the world alike. It's the reason why we have to be so harsh, and why we took it upon ourselves to make a place that does not breed what the prophecy foretold of us. A god killer that would drown the world in blood. The only way to present that is to make an empire to withstand that storm. I hope you understand the importance of what you represent to us now.
I understand completely.
Then go forth. I think we've found one of the Exalted is a veil of knowledge. Maybe you can help him out and sort things out. And plus, if we are going to continue to survive, we will need more aspects, more candidates to turn into divine beings and follow the Emperor as well. I think you will be particularly keen on finding who is appropriate for this task.
And they have to stop themselves from weaving and soothsaying to nod slowly.
Emperor touches your head. Go with my grace. And if you're ever in trouble, please do not fear to ask me for help. You may have lost friends, but you still have one.
And once her fingers barely caress its forehead, it's like a button activating their wings. They expand. And with a step back, they start to slowly fly and take off.
Towards your new life. The Emperor gives a brow to Daros, leaving him in his quarters. Leaving only the god of valor in his room alone. In this instant, Scovia, you're able to get closer. Looking from the edge, like a mist, him not seeing you, as he does not understand what you are yet. You see him go into what looks like to be an old sort of cabinet. The key forms from one of his nearby hands, and he unlocks it. From what you can see, there are old things of his past life as a mortal. What looks like to be a painting of the original Exalted before they turned into gods. The colors they used to wear as heroes themselves. But none of that really matters to you as you see him take out a vial. And upon looking at it, you see a liquid that you've seen before. The way it swishes, the color it is. Rhea's medicine.
Rose is sick.
You see him walk towards the edge. Do you hide yourself or do you make yourself known?
I think I want to make myself known, but in a way that is like a misdirection. Almost as if I'm walking in from the front door or something. As if I wasn't here.
Gotcha.
I want
You
Daros
see-
good. No good. Yeah.
You present that almost like an after image of you, and you see Darrow's kind of go around. Well. Ain't the heretic. How far we have fallen from the grace of the gods.
Oh, can it, Pops? So, I assume this will be the last time we see each other.
It is. One last lesson I hope to impart on you, since you are here and so keen.
And that is...
This.
And what is that?
Oh, don't play coy with me now. Little girl, you know exactly what this is. So why don't you ask?
Why do you have the medicine that I think was supposed to heal a dying princess?
Heal isn't exactly the word, more like prevent them from going
Yeah.
ballistic.
Yes, why do you have a sedative?
Well, you see he looks at it, tosses it out the window. It was particularly hard to do. I had to find the right moment in which the dosage would topple off and then make sure I gave a placebo, which was not easy given my knowledge of not being a chemist. But it did exactly what I intended it to do.
You were the doctor. You
Oh, no.
were...
It's much worse than that. The doctor's a good guy. He didn't even know what he did. No. I switched the vials. I started this war, you could say. I mean, did you not find it at least weird that I was smoking out by that terrace exactly with the only exit from the room? You didn't find that strange at all.
Taros, I knew you were there. I knew that you had your plans. But I didn't think it would be like this. My distrust for you wasn't big enough. There was always a part of me that believed that your machinations were at least going to be helpful to me as your daughter. So tell me, did you ever actually care about me, or was it no right?
They walk closer to you. I remember your village. Quiet place. Had wonderful rivers and I would say a nice bar. But then I saw a child restless. I could see, almost like a smith sees an iron ingot, the way this child could be molded into something spectacular, something mesmerizing, divine. But they were never going to do that in a place where the most exciting thing that happens in your life is getting married to the town preacher.
Oh my god.
You helped me achieve a dream in which those pitiful mortals don't rule themselves. We do, because we know better. And I know the next few years, almost like his snake-like motions following you, that you will rave, you will punt, you will pout, and try to stop us. But the lovely thing is, you fucked it up all yourself. As he invokes the curse, as the neck mark begins to heat up, revealing your position as he turns back to you. I will always know where you are, who you speak with, hell, who you love. And there's nothing you can do to stop me.
Taros, you always have. That sword you gave me, I always knew. It was just another fucking leash. But I'll thank you, Taros, because through all the destruction that you gave, through all the pain that you put me through all the manipulation that I expected, becoming a god has never felt more freeing. Because you know what? Enscovia missed around Taros in a way that I'm sure he can't do anything about. And she puts that dagger that Mira gave her, that she took, to his heart. Baby boy, I have the ability to kill you now. And it won't be now. And it might not actually even be me. Because what I'm gonna do is wait. Lie and wait, because that's what I do best, Taros. I hide in the shadows. I am dust now. Just because you know where I am doesn't mean you can stop me. Raise an army, you fool. I am an army. I will make sure the God Killer takes your life with glee. And I will make sure that my key is the last one that gets put in that fucking door when Oblivion takes us all. Because I told Mira I would watch this whole thing fall. That's what I would do as a god. And I'll break this curse so that you fear every moment when you don't know where I am. You're a shit dad.
And you are not my daughter. Heretic.
But you forget, I still am your child. I learned everything I could from you. And I'm gonna use it to make your life a living hell. Oh, I guess your eternal life. And it's not Scovia anymore, dickbag. But she does not tell him what her name is now.
Do you leave the room?
Of course.
Fight it all you can. Can't stop the Empire. No one can, kid.
The Empire's gonna fall, loser. And I'm gonna watch.
You leap off the terrace. His smile dissipates. It is frustrated as he holds within his various treasures. Same toy he gave you as a child. As he holds it in his hands, looking over the fire, A moment of pain on his face. Before he tosses it in. Scovia, you leap from building to building. Mist, determination, fugitive on the run. But if you're not Scovia, then who are you?
The god of wandering, the god of darkness. Taíno. Oh, and I guess now the god of freedom, as she is leaping with joy from building to building, happy that she can even remember what her home was.
And as you leap from building to building, as you seep with rage in a cave, as you find yourself surrounded by books, the war is over. So begins a new one inside of all your hearts. Hearts that maybe one day the God Killer might see. And that is where we shall end it for today. Yay, everyone, yay. And with that, that's the end of the Stewards War. We hope you had a wonderful time, everyone. And with that, we're going to go in reverse order here for plugs. So with that in mind, starting off with our lovely Vin Vox VA. Take it away, Vox. Where can they find you? And who are you?
Oh my gosh! Hi guys! It's me, Vin Vox. I was Taika, now the god of knowledge, and I'm searching for crunchy little aspects.
What a delight. People are booing me. Y'all can't see it. Again, I'm Vin at VinVoxVA, except Blue Sky, that is VinVox.com, which is also my website. Again, VinVox.com, that is my resume, that is my demo reels. Because despite all this cockamamie bullshit, I am a professional voice actor. Hire me for things. Isn't that right, Zoe?
Hi, I bet you're wondering what I'm doing here. It's me. So, hi everyone, if you liked what I did here, then you'll probably love what I do. I moved my microphone. Apologies. That was probably a horrible noise for anyone listening on that other side. If you like what I do here, you'll love what I do in the other places that you'll find me. I don't know. I stopped using social media because it's kind of a hellscape, but I'm on YouTube now. At Yellow Cap Reviews. I make YouTube videos now. And I'm going to try to make one about anime and fascism. So I think that's perfect here. GG, honestly. Isn't that right, C?
Sometimes I forget that I'm the person doing the production, and then I'm like, I gotta switch the screen! Hi everyone, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. And I play the dragon that used to be Ajax Rosby. Yay! Lose yourself in war, and you shall become a monster of your own creation. If you liked what I did here, you'll probably like what I do other places. So you can always find me on Saturdays at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time on Transplaner. I'm the producer. I play a character or two sometimes, and I dramaturg over there. So those are the stories that live in my heart. Go find them. Oh my gosh. That was a... You know what, Chris? It's not enough to kill gods anymore. I have to fight you. I have to kill you. It's not enough to kill gods.
Oh god.
Threatening your life now, Chris?
Fun fact, audience, my middle name means God-given in Spanish, so meant to do this shit. With that in mind, my name is Chris, and I have been your GM, forgetting what I'm playing, for these preceding evenings. With that in mind, we do have one more stream before we go on a mini hiatus. This is the finale of our last shows that we had. We just finished Doomsayers, which is all the way on YouTube for you to watch. But tomorrow, we have a very special stream sponsored by some lovely folks. We're going to do the token system, showcasing the lovely tokens you can make on Chepeku's new system that they got going on and their new website. But also doing a little bit of a talk back. So we'll have that stream tomorrow, same time at 8. But until then, we're going to be working on our next show, which hopefully will get out during maybe early March. So we'll keep you updated. You can find all that good stuff online at Taíno Tales, whether it be Twitter, but we're mostly on Blue Sky. So check us out there for more info. With that in mind, we had a wonderful tour here. We had a wonderful time here. And we hope you have a wonderful night. We can't wait to see you again, hopefully in the future. But until then, everyone, have a lovely night. Bye-bye.